Hello, welcome to the CRL show. I'm Paul Arundale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
Glad you could join us again. Another big episode. There's plenty of grand finals to get through, prelim finals as well. Yeah. Did you catch anything on the weekend, mate?
Yeah, I was all over BarTV. So I was flicking between the Illawarra comp, Canberra Cup.
Yeah.
There's so much action around those, but geez, there was just things going on everywhere. So by the time we flicked it around to Gold Coast, the whole bit, Sunshine Coast, there was just too much I did not get off the lounge.
Yeah, and Group 4 was great to have Group 4 on BarTV for the first time. I was, where was I?
Everywhere.
Newcastle Hunter Rugby League grand finals, they were just magnificent, a great day. Well done to all the volunteers, the board up there. They did a massive job. Apparently 11,000 people through the gate.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That is fantastic. We were talking last week about how also there'd be such a diverse crowd there, no doubt, because you had those little communities, as always, but we seem to have lots of little, small country towns that were probably, or the whole town was arriving and leaving, and then the next one's coming in and getting back to their local clubhouses. So
big shout out to the referees too. Obviously with the big crowd, the canteen lines are huge and all that. The referees, they shouted myself and Nils, the cameraman, sausage singer.
Oh, fantastic.
It wasn't well done, because we wouldn't have eaten all day if it wasn't for that. So
now we've got to be clear, it wasn't cash for comments or sausage sangers for comments. You're not saying this. They had a great game. They got every decision right.
Absolutely.
No mistakes. Thanks for the sausage sanger.
There's plenty of mistakes behind the microphone, but the refs got everything spot on.
And having said that, they're big days for, we were talking about earlier before the show, how they're big days for volunteers, players, fans, all the club people. Big day for referees too, because they've got to get in there. Probably the biggest crowd they have to face. Well, it's grand final day. Biggest crowd they have to face all year. They would have had a big day as well.
Absolutely. Well done to everyone involved. As I say, 9 grand finals, Newcastle Hunter Rugby League. If you haven't been to one, just experience from it. It's just a magnificent occasion, and well done to all the teams that won. But I've banged on about Newcastle Hunter long enough. But I've got one more bit for you. Magic moment this weekend is the epic A-grade grand final between Raymond Terrace and Waratah Mayfield Cheetahs. If you don't know, Raymond Terrace led 28-0 at one stage. Waratah scored a try to make it 28-6 at the break. And then they clawed their way back, the Cheetahs. Here's some footage for you now, the magic moment. 28 all, we're in the injury time. There's about 4 minutes left on the clock. Travis Edwards, the former Macquarie Scorpion, kicks the field goal to put Waratah in front.
I thought this was it. I was sort of watching it back thinking, okay, that's done, game over now. You know, there's got to be not long to go at this point.
No, so there was still plenty of time. So Raymond Terrace will have another opportunity, but the winning try comes up here. Just a bit of bad luck, but I don't know what happened at half time, but the team, Raymond Terrace, was just completely outplayed after a monster first half.
This poor, winger that had to deal with 4 on 1 or something.
He's doing okay. But the Waratah fans going.
That's fantastic. It had to happen in that corner too, didn't it? That's so good. That's epic, and it's rare to get any comeback of that. I don't know, no one's got the stats, I guess, for every comp in the state or around Australia, but it's very rare for comebacks to be beyond 2024 maybe.
I've seen some big comebacks. I think there was a Macquarie Scorpion Cessnock game that was finished up 32 all or something. One of them were leading, but for a grand final to be down 28-0. I spoke to one of the players, Brendan Robinson, after the game, and he's like, I was confident all week, confident out there, but he goes, I have to admit, at 28-0 down, I'm thinking, but it's one of the greatest comebacks ever. I got home Saturday night and I was just, I can't believe what I witnessed. And if you haven't seen it, we'll put the highlights up on BarTV so you can watch it, and it's crazy.
And in certain ways, Raymond Terrace left everything on the park, because I was thinking, you wouldn't have wanted to have missed an easy kick and stuff. The kicker was nailing him from the sidelines the whole game. I think missed one goal and it hit the post. So, but I think every try was out on the flanks. So on a windy day, it was pretty so you think, God, at least it's probably good for that kicker. They can't say, oh, geez, I missed a couple here, but Wow, what a game.
No, it was something special. But plenty of other big moments happening on BarTV too. Some grand finals. We'll get some results for you, especially some of the grand finals that happen around the place.
Yeah.
We'll start with Newcastle's, the semi-finals first up there. Souths went down to Central 26-10, and the entrants beat Cessnock 16-6. So now Cessnock, they're probably still in Mad Monday mode as we speak.
Yeah, exactly. Kicking on up there. Brisbane, the preliminary final, winner Manly 40-18. They defeated Redcliffe, so they're through to the grand final.
Yeah, no, well done to the Seagulls. Sunshine Coast prelim. Noosa bow out, Biwa kick on 16-14. So Noosa were one of my teams. So picked to win the comp. Biwa was yours.
Yeah, no, that was going to be the game, wasn't it? And it was close. Yeah. You know, it was a cracker of a game. Gold Coast preliminary final. Currumbin. Now, this is not one I saw coming. Defeated Burleigh 20 points to 18.
Yeah, it's a funny old comp up there.
Yeah, and Burleigh, you know, early on, you would have thought it was going to. They were premiership hopefuls.
Where are we going? Group 7, it was the prelim final. Shell Harbour too good for Albion Park, 34-10. They'll meet Gerringong. That's going to be a ripper. Yeah,
good on Albion Park. Good run this year. Yeah. Central Coast preliminary final. This is one for the ages as well. Woy Woy and Erina, a 24-all draw after extra time.
Yeah.
Full time was called, and I guess at some stage they worked out that it's Erina that goes through.
Yeah. So basically, because Erina finished higher on the ladder, I've been on it a few times before. Every comp that we cover, and it's just not the comps that we cover, they all have their own little different rules, whether it be points or whatever timing. I just wish it was all blanket, that everywhere was the same.
Yeah, and I think I've said before. I said before in other years, there's always someone at a club or a comp that knows the minutiae of those rules. Yeah. But I'm sure they must go back to the rule book when it's 24-all and extra time. What happens? We need to work out an answer before the game's over.
Yeah.
But you're right. They have to do that because there are so many diverse rules depending on where you are.
Yeah. So, well done to Erina. They're into the grand final. But poor old Woy, they're thinking, oh, well. Penrith, it was a grand final down there. Emu Plains, who'd been the benchmark all year, they got the win 20-18 over Collington. A strong effort from Collington. But
close one in the end because Emu Plains were dominated all year. Illawarra grand final. Now to the Shield, the Harrigan Shield. Avondale did get a win. It was one of the Avondale teams at the end. The Avondale Greys won 30-16 against Fig Tree. In the Plate, the West were dominant. You know, like they're a strong club in the Harrigan Plate. 42 points to 0 against Berkeley. And premiers in the Harrigan Premiership, West 31 points to 20 against the Rule. Could sort of see that coming, but Thrill had another good run as well. You know, should be happy they were there.
Big shout out to Jake, who produced the pictures you saw on BarTV. One of his big gig producing footy. He done, we think, one of the best jobs. So well done to Jake. You did a great job.
Cracker Jack on grand final day too. Plenty of pressure.
We go to Northern Rivers. It was grand final day up there in Ballina. Tweed Head started off with a win, 12-6 over Maris Brothers. In the women's tackle, Northern United 46-18 over Balambal. Byron Bay 36-28 over Balambal in under 18s. Reserve grade, Tweed Heads 30-18 over Byron Bay. I feel like I'm just repeating it. But in first grade, Ballina 16-10 over Balambal. So Byron Bay and Balambal were heavily represented, but they didn't pick up too many wins. I think only one between them. So.
But Ballina, you know, worthy winners really in the year. I didn't know whether to get my red texter out to add another premiership to Balambal, but they had a great run as well, you know, to get into the grand final. Down to Canberra, a great grand final day down there this weekend or last weekend. In the tag, the Woden Valley won 18-16 to 14 against Gungahlin. Close games. Under 19s, Goulburn went down to Woden 34-12. So another Woden victory there. Yes. In the Katrina Fanning Shield, won 28-10 against Gungahlin. Good on Yass. Reserves, Woden Valley again, defeated Gungahlin 32-26. They've had a cracker of a year. Couldn't get in the grand final for first. So they've had a great club year.
Yes, absolutely.
But in first grade, this will go down in history, really, surely. You know, all Queanbeyan grand final. And the Roos, the mighty Roos, the team that Paul openly say he supports.
one.
Yeah. 18 points to 10 against the Blues. Cracker of a game.
Yep, so I got one up there and you lost that
Ka-ching,
one.
yeah.
I've got a bad feeling this week is going to bring me up.
There's a few on this week, yeah.
All right, I'll skip Group 4. I'll let you read those ones out. I'll go to Newcastle Hunter. There was, as I said, 9 grand finals there.
Yeah.
League Tag C, Dungog defeated Shortland 10-8. League Tag B, Wallsend 16-10 over Cardiff, and League Tag A, Central 18-0 over University. We go to the men's side of the Newcastle Hunter. D grade Southern Conference, Wallsend 54-31 over Cardiff, an extraordinary score in that one. D grade Northern Conference, Patterson 28-26 over Karua, after I think Patterson led 24-0 at one stage. So,
really another comeback.
Yeah, just ran out of time, the Roos. C grade men's, Hinton 32-24 over Dungog. B grade, East Maitland come from behind to beat Katara 14-12 in the B grade grand final. Then A grade, as we showed you in the magic moments a moment ago, Waratah Mayfield 33-28 over the Roman Terrace Magpies.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic game of a whole weekend of footy, really, up there, all day of footy. Group 21 grand finals, another great day up there. Now in the tag, Scone won 48 points to 0 against Aberdeen. In under 18, Singleton got up against Scone, 30 points to 24. In reserve, Scone won, so they had a great day, 28 points to 18 against Aberdeen. And in first grade, Scone, undefeated year, defeated Greta Branxton 18 points to 10.
Yeah, no, well done to the Thoroughbreds, 5 in a row now.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Group 4 grand finals, under 18s, Dungowan 40-10 over Katingal. In the ladies league tag, North Tamworth 22-0 over Katingal. In reserve grade, Werris Creek 24-20 over Dungowan, and then in first grade, Moree Boars capped off a stellar year, 40-18 over Boggabri Roos.
Yeah, now Hastings League, I've got some sort of a bit of analysis on that as well.
Yeah.
They, Beechwood defeated Southwest Rock, excuse me, a bit of a sticky throat.
Been yelling at the footy.
Yeah, I know.
Yelling at the TV.
Oh, at the end, my neighbours were calling up the cops for complaints and stuff. Beechwood defeated Southwest Rocks 26-6, so that sets up a Beechwood Kendall grand final. The qualifying final a few weeks ago, Kendall defeated Beechwood 23 points to 22 in extra time. So there'll be a replay of that game, and it sounded like that was a cracker of a game. So we're looking at a really good finish to the Hastings League. Yeah,
awesome. Peter McDonald, it was a grand final. Big win to Mudgee, 46-16. Yeah, well done to the Dragons.
Yeah, fantastic. And Group 9 semi-finals. Now, the Wagga Kangaroos knocked out Gundagai on the weekend, 28 points to 20. And Young advanced to the final, 26-16 against Temora. Temora having Josh McCrone at halfback. The winner will be, the grand final will be Young versus the winner of Temora and Wagga next week.
Yeah, interesting. The prelims have been played down at Albury.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Temora and Wagga. Anyway, they probably picked these venues out earlier, but it must be.
I mean, it's a good ground. It's Greenfield Park or whatever. I thought, I know that the ground is good quality and pretty new and stuff like that. But I wondered whether it's a road trip for everyone, a decent road trip.
I guess it is everywhere down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were the results from the weekend, and there was a couple of spectacular tries too. Here are our tries of the week. All right, we kick off our tries of the week. Woi Woi v Erina, picked up here by Jesse Petherbridge. I guess to run a play, you could say. Like said, crabbing across field, looking for support, and on the end of it's Ashton Carroll, who dives in the corner. He still had a lot of work.
Great finish in the end, yeah.
So that was the prelim for the grand final. Dion Samuela, Runaway Bay, Douglas Cup reserve grade on the Gold Coast here. He just had a lot of work to do the fight late. And
a lot of Currumbin plays around him at any stage of that. There's like 6 or 7 players around him.
We moved to Townsend Oval as the semi-final of the women's tackle competition in Newcastle. Matilda Jones on the end of this slick movement from the Lakes United Seagulls. They've been the form team in the Newcastle women's comp all year, so deserved winners there and a good try. Yeah,
great finish.
We head up to the BRL. This is the prelim final between Redcliffe and Wynnum. Wynnum Manly getting a big win, but Stanford Toledo running basically the length of the field. He almost ran out of gas here, almost caught clipped, but a great effort from the centre from the Seagulls.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And also the centre from Redcliffe having a crack there, almost getting there.
We threw this one in, Claire Jorgensen, Gungahlin. Just a nice ball movement here in the ladies' league tag. We thought that this was actually the winning try, and then I looked back and it's like, no, they lost by 2. They missed the conversion to equal it, but still a great try from the Bulls girls.
Yeah, and they were up. They sort of thought, well, we've got a shot here, and unfortunately it's one of those games where you have the goal kicker has all that pressure and just can't do it, which is really unfair, I think, in some ways. Like it wasn't their fault they got to that point in the game. But
no, absolutely. So well done to all our tries of the week. If you've seen better, let us know and we'll share them on our social media pages. All right, we're ripping through it. We may as well go around the groups.
Right. Around the groups. Now, a fair bit of Clayton Cup discussion because we're getting to that point. It's really next week we will know who the Clayton Cup winner is. First of all, I think there was a bit of press around this and you probably may know about it, but shout out or credit to Mick Dodson, who retired for the Queanbeyan Roos. Yeah. He has played a lot through Canberra Cup. I think he was probably in sort of lower grades for an NRL team at one stage. He's played in Group 9 and various others. They said rumoured it reports to have played 500 first grade games. Wow. Which I think might be, I guess you don't have the records everywhere, so it'd be going off his memory, and then, your memory gets sketchy after that many seasons.
Well, how many years would that be in playing first grade?
Yeah, because if you punch out, you're not going to punch out, like we're talking country comps too, there might be like 19, 20 games a year, you're not punching out.
Well, I'd say, you play 20 a year, 10 years, there's 200, so.
And that's no... And that's no injuries.
Yeah, or is that first grade or every grade?
First grade, it said.
Wow.
And that's I think where the rumours were too. I think he might have thought, I played a few years of Reggie's that year, and so that's wild. He came off the bench. Another awesome, he won a grand final in his last game, and his son played lock, Ryan Dodson as well. So he's called the Professor, which I thought always makes you sound like a crazy interesting person. But of course, there's a Professor Mick Dodson who's an academic. Yeah. And land rights activist. So they must have just said, look, we're going to call you the Professor. You're the Professor. Yeah. But what a great way to finish. Yeah. Great season, great career, but sometimes those careers don't have the big finish. Yeah. You peter out, but he's finished with a premiership with his son. So you can't get more than that. Now we'll head into some Clayton's Cup info now. Scone undefeated. They got one hand on the Clayton's Cup, with the other hand kind of about to reach around and touch it. Yeah. What we're waiting for is we've got the MacArthur Premiership Grand Final coming up this weekend as well. So Camden have had the week off last week, so they didn't lose, they didn't win, and they play the Oaks at Campbelltown Stadium on Sunday. If I could be somewhere, that'd be a cracker of a game. If anyone's sort of on that area, and even if you're watching in Sydney, get out to Campbelltown Stadium. Sort of Sunday Arvo Grand Final 3:15. So
I know Scone would have won 17, so I know it's a 15 round. Won their prelim grand
did
final.
that.
So that's 17 from 17. How many would have Camden would have won?
Well, I got the deets. I got the data, and actually, you bang on from memory, got it right. Just short answer. They've had 18.
Yes. Okay.
Now, on top of that, I got to page 87 of the New South Wales Rugby League. Handbook or whatever it is, it's got everything in
handbook
it.
That weighs.
I know. My God, I found the bit where if you've got a hearing aid, what you have to do, and there's a lot of details. Not that I'll ever have to worry about playing rugby league with a hearing aid. There's a whole Clayton's Cup section. Yes. Okay, if anyone's bored with this, fast forward a minute or 10. But here's a quote. Okay, the winner of the Clayton's Cup shall be selected by the New South Wales Board based on a recommendation from the CEO. Right, based on these criteria. So you're still with me? The board says that team's got it, or they tell the CEO to say that team's got it. Yeah. So it's not cut and dried. The criteria are win and loss records. Yep. So that's if you're undefeated, rule it out. Points scored and conceded are two of the criteria. Yep. Okay, so that might be the next. It doesn't rank them. Yeah. Games played, which is a big one. Yes. They're like how many wins they've had compared to the others. Yeah. And then there's a fourth one, any other criteria the New South Wales Board considers relevant.
So it could be best sausage sandwich,
I know,
car parking.
Biggest bribe. I did actually To give them credit, I thought maybe that's like a guardrail for where if there's ever a team that just signs a bunch of really kick-ass, like semi-retired NRL players.
But I mean, most of them have got the player point system or something to stop that from happening.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's when there's drugs involved or something. I don't know. Like it could be something like that. But let's say we rule that one out or we don't. Scone, they've had 17 wins. Did I say 16? 16 wins.
17, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, 17, but I wrote 16, sorry, versus 18 for Camden. And I won't go into for and against it. This could get very dry. But basically, Scone's for and against right now is 630.
Yep.
And Camden's is 699 with a game in hand.
Yeah, okay.
So it really comes down to
percentage.
Yeah, percentage. And like if Camden lose on the weekend, it's Scones.
Yep.
But if Camden win on the weekend, it's going to be a bit complicated as to, my thoughts were, you play more games, you get the Clayton's Cup.
Yeah.
18 against 16, that's 2 more wins.
Yeah.
But...
And it'd be, like, no disrespect to Group 21, but arguably MacArthur Premiership would be a tougher league. Yep.
And so looking at those, Scone has won the Clayton's Cup in 2022, and Camden never won. So there's that historical significance as well for the teams and for the fans and stuff like that. No pressure on Camden, but it's all up to them next week. Touching on that, I'll briefly go through it's not exhaustive, this list, but the one-loss club.
The one-loss club.
It's almost like the obituaries at the Oscars. You gotta go, you're almost gone there. Because it's quite compelling. The Moree Boars, who won the Group 4 grand final on the weekend, they beat Bogabri 40 points to
16, I think
16.
It was,
My writing's all mashy. Just out of interest, they lost one game this year in round 16 to Werris Creek, 40 points to 32.
Yeah.
Had they have not lost that, they would have been in contention unless, now Scones won.
I think Werris Creek didn't make the grand final. Bogabri beat them in extra time.
So Mudgee's an interesting one. I hadn't thought of the Mudgee Dragons, and they've secured the Peter McDonald Premiership. They've had one loss this year, which was in round 1.
Wow!
So they actually have been undefeated since around Anzac Day.
Yeah.
And it's that one loss. It was against Orange Sims, who ended up sort of fading away. They lost 46 to 22. So it's just like those two clubs got so close.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. Like if you're one loss away from qualifying for the Clayton's Cup, or having a chance of winning it, you must be pretty, especially if it's a round 1 game as well. So well done, guys. What else? I've got lots of notes here. We can edit this out as I'm trying to fumble my way through it. But lots of stuff we've covered already. Compelling stuff from down Group 7. So Gerringong, if Gerringong win on the weekend, I think they're a one-loss team. So we're still back in the one-loss club. Yeah. It's an interesting stat that Shell Harbour have had 1 loss and 1 draw in the same comp.
Yep.
Gerringong have had 1 loss. Shell Harbour lost to Gerringong. That's their 1 loss.
Yeah.
And you're not going to believe it, Gerringong's 1 loss was to Shell Harbour.
Yeah.
So they've actually, it'd be almost impossible to have 2 clubs do so well in 1 year.
Yeah.
They have beat every other team bar a draw with Nowra for the Shell Harbour, other than each other. So it's sort of, it seems like a pretty open comp down there. Yeah. When you look at that, you go, wow, that was actually quite a year for both of those clubs, where they only really lost to each other, and it was the rest of it was just a canter kind of thing. So anyway, that's ahead of us, down Group 7.
Yeah, it's going to be a bump one down.
You can't, like I said, you probably can't get 2 teams that are at the peak of their powers more than those 2. So we'll see what happens next. Apart from that, unless I can find something else, that's around the groups from me.
Just a random one I discovered. Currumbin, they're in the grand finals. Their first one since 2008, taking on Tugun, their neighbours. We only learnt this, that Currumbin used to be Tugun's junior club. They what do you say? Demerged? Is that
Yeah,
the word? Is it, well,
yeah,
I don't know, but
broke away.
Broke away. That's the word we're looking
It's almost,
for. Breakaway,
but it's not like wasn't a rebellious thing either. You know, like it's breakaway sounds like it's this big thing. You know?
Yeah, so breakaway, which is very unusual in rugby league.
Yeah, it never happens. It's always like smooth waters.
Yes, yeah. So no, so it's interesting. The two clubs will come together in the grand final. Junior Currumbin this week.
I wonder if anyone can find how long ago was that? Like, there's going to be an old jersey in the crowd.
Yeah, well, 2008 they got into a grand final or come into a Currumbin, so I'd say it'd be not too far from back there.
Yeah. So old jerseys for the combined team could be found out on the hills somewhere. Yeah. Someone would have been an old player or something like that. Yeah. One more around the groups too, because I've always been noting communities that are celebrating clubs doing well. I was passing through Kurua, which went down. They went down in C grade, and I think the Ruettes were playing as well.
Yes.
Pardon me. And I'll explain that later. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't just they had the sign out in front of the ground, which I quickly took a photo of passing through. I wasn't driving, so don't call anyone. But the local school, they made an up Kurua sign. I've got on the screen there on a bed sheet. It was really well made. It's a busy road, whacked it on the side, you know, so everyone could see it. And if we couldn't, you can't really see, but I think the kids had written little notes on the actual sheet, you know, good luck, and you can do it, and that kind of stuff. So I think it's just glorious for something that they were in C grade, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. And they don't care. You know, that's what I love.
D grade, so it'll D grade south, but they're all
north, northern, and they, I just love that kind of community rugby league because those communities don't give a stuff what grade it is. Yeah. They're in a grand final.
Oh, that's it.
And those kids would have been like our town is playing in a grand final, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, and you nailed it there. That's their community, that's their team, and I think that's sort of lost with some of the hierarchy a bit further up the tree that they forget that, you know, Kurua's their team. Yeah, same with Dungog and Hinton.
And perhaps the lower, the more...
Laurie Balls.
The more regional, like those towns, and the lower, the less likely you're going to get sort of ring-ins, really. You're really going to have... That Dungog team is probably a bunch of Dungog people playing, you know, which is fantastic for the community. So it's just... I love it.
Yeah. All right. Around the
groups.
Yeah, even though footy's starting to come to an end, there's still lots to tuck into. And the beauty of finals footy and all that, there's plenty of big hits. So we've picked out 5. I reckon we've missed heaps, especially from the Newcastle Hunter. But here's our 5 big hits of the week. First up, it's the Group 4 Grand Final, and the unknown player for Laurie Balls just smashes his opposition 13 there.
Enveloped him, he just covered him.
Matt Duncan and Jay Williams, both on this one for the Avondale Greyhounds in the Harrigan Shield final. Just a nice shot. Here we go, Newcastle Hunter, Lachlan Edwards, Dungog Warriors.
Jesus.
This was in because of the little half somersault after the hit.
It's a little bit of ray gun breakdancing afterwards, you know. That's fantastic.
We head back down to the Illawarra Harrigan Plate, and Martin Cramp, Berkeley Eagles, Captain Hugh, with a nice shot there.
Stopped in his tracks.
There's 2 players involved there that could have got named. And then we go back to the Newcastle Hunter, Patterson v Kurua, Ryan Winkler here with a good shot. Just
clocked him. Caught him. I don't think he saw him cut there. Like, just absolutely blindsided him.
No, it's some absolute amazing hits this week. As I say, we would have missed heaps, especially...
And you would have seen there, that was the other field on A grade. You look at the crowd on the other field. Yeah. Like, it was just a remarkable day by the sounds of it, where you were just full, everything. There wasn't a spare seat in the house.
No, I said 11,000 people in and out through the gates, and the beauty of it is they come and watch their team, and then they head home to the pub or whatever to celebrate or commiserate. When I was doing the East Maitland Katara game on field 1, I could hear the crowd for Wallsend v Cardiff on the other field. They were that loud. 80-odd points scored.
Well, I love it. There's often team songs going on that you can hear from the winners on the other field, and it's just, love it.
It's unreal, if you saw any big hits on the weekend that we've missed, let us know. We'll share them on the social media pages. But we thank you to the guys who put the big hits on, and especially the players who received the hits.
With the full merit to them.
All right, we'll wrap things up now. We'll let you know what's happening around the traps on BarTV. This weekend, Week 2 of the Newcastle Rugby League semi-finals, Souths and the entrance, that'll be played on Sunday. That'll be at Cessnock Sports Ground, and on Saturday, Maitland take on Central at Maitland Sports Ground.
Yeah, fantastic. Big day up in Brisbane. Starting with the under-21s, Wynnum Manly are up against West Brisbane. Wynnum play again in reserve grades against Bulimba, and it's Wynnum are in it again for first grade. It's been a great year up that way on the coast. Wynnum Manly play West Brisbane in the first grade grand final.
The question is, are they going to win them?
I never saw that one coming. That's fantastic.
It's so bad. Sorry. People are switching off.
No, switch back on. Yeah.
Gold Coast Grand Finals. A grade, Tugun host Currumbin. Apologies there. I haven't got the other ones on my sheet, but we'll post them up on your screen for you now. But it's going to be a big day at the Betty Diamond Complex, the home of Tugun, right next to the airport. So, good luck to Tugun and Currumbin. It's going to be a magnificent day up there. Yeah,
in a way, I don't know. Like, are they both out? Would you have predicted that grand final at the start of the year?
Well, I thought it'd be Southport Burleigh. They'll want to.
Yeah, I'll be the same. Like, I thought Southport was going to have a great year. Yeah. So, it's going to be an interesting grand final, one of those ones where no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, Sunshine Coast Grand Final, another big week up there. Going to be fantastic in Queensland this time of year. In the 19s, Caloundra play Caboolture. In C grade, Caloundra play Mary Valleys, another Caloundra. It's got a big season for Caloundra Club. Reserves, Biwa are up against Caloundra again, and in A grade, it'll be Coolum against Biwa in the grand final, Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, some big grand finals there. Biwa looking to go back to back.
Yeah.
Where are we off to now? Central Coast Grand Finals. Ladies League tag it kicks off with Erina and Terrigal. Then they do battle again in the under-19s. Open grade, Arimba v Wyong. Women's tackle, we've got the entrance and Berkeley Vale. Reserve grade, Erina and the entrance. And then first grade, Toukley v Erina. Third year in a row that those two are going to meet in a grand final. Yeah. Toukley's 1-2, Erina not yet to get the
far
win.
out.
So maybe third time lucky for the Eagles.
It does it'll get in their heads, those ones, those kind of grand finals for both teams. They're just like, we want to get 3, but Aaron will be like, this is our time. We've got to do this time. So that'll be a cracker.
And Group 7 finals, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
There they are. Milton Ulladulla host Shell Harbour. Well, they don't host them.
Yeah.
18s, it's Albion Park v Warilla. Reserve grade, Gerringong v Shell Harbour. And first grade, Gerringong v Shell Harbour.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's been for those two clubs an epic season, but there can only be one winner, as they say.
Yeah. So that's what's happening on BarTV this weekend, and we forgot to bring these up. Our tips. We went through the 11 comps that were on BarTV this year, and Geoff and I picked our winners. We picked these about 2 months ago, so some of them are absolute shockers, but we put a little spin on it. We just didn't go through and pick who we thought. We had to do 2 smokies, so one of my smokies is still kicking. So there's mine up there for you now. Obviously, West Brisbane play this weekend, so Gerringong and Erina, but I've got 4 up.
Yeah, you banked 4.
Yeah, banked 4.
That's pretty good at this point. But yeah, I mean, and Gerringong's looking good. You sort of really nailed it with some of those ones coming up as well.
Yeah. We'll get yours up there now. Now, you've got 2, but I've got a feeling that you're gonna bypass me this weekend.
Well, Tugun, was that a smoky? I don't know whether I call it smoky, but I'm happy to now.
Look, I said no, but I'll let you claim that.
Yeah,
as a smoky. Evans Head was definitely a smoky.
Evans Head was a heart choice, but they gave it a crack. They were sort of 1 win away from the grand final or 2.
Yeah,
Shell Harbour. I'm hopeful. So I should be maybe.
Yeah. But, it'd be interesting. Maybe next year we might do a little bit of a competition and get some of the viewers to send in their
that'd be a great idea.
We might have a few more comps. We might lose a few over the summer. But, yes.
Well, and we could give away like anything laying around, like a glass, maybe some of the ferns. But no, that's a great idea, just out of interest, because, really... I've had a ball trying to nut them out and then watch them go down and go, damn it, and the ones that I banked, I'm like, so no, it's a great idea.
Yeah. All right. thanks to everyone that's viewed. We'll probably do one more CRL show or a couple more before we wind up for the year. But it's been a pleasure doing this and finding big hits, tries and all that stuff. But big thanks to our floor manager too.
Yes, this is the noise that you may have heard earlier. I hope you're still watching so you can get an explanation.
Big thanks to Daisy. She's come in today and she's helped out. She's been very patient sitting there on the floor, haven't you?
She's our floor manager because she manages the floor. So
as well. Yes.
Some of the many odd noises you get around this place. The odd noise earlier on was her. It did probably sound like one of us having gas. So. No, it wasn't. It was a snore.
Yeah. All right, Paul Arundale, Geoff Stevenson signing off from the Country Rugby League show. If you can't watch a game on BarTV, make sure you get out and support your local footy club.
Yeah, get there. Cheers.